How's it going, gang? Happy Yellow Friday. Coach Paul here, back with another Chalk Talk. Today's topic, we'll get right into it. I had a conversation with some of our athletes yesterday, where a group of our athletes, where the focus was off, playing around, and all these things that we tell athletes that we don't only prepare you physically, but we also have to prepare you mentally as well. So on the mental aspect, it's like you can't just show up to our training programs, and just because you're here, you're an autopilot. We talk about that a lot, where you're just going through the motion. You're not locked in. You're not prepared to get better. For yourself for the day. So, you got to be locked in. You got to be laser focused into the programming and every detail that's going on. So, the 3 Ds that we talked about is number one, dedication. Number two, discipline. Number three, details. All right. So, being dedicated is being consistent, right? Being dedicated is working hard while you're there. Being dedicated is being locked in and focused. Discipline, in my opinion, I mean, that's a big key factor for any athlete and team by far. If you look at the greatest teams that win games and win championships, they are the most disciplined teams. Being disciplined in all of the above that we mentioned, being focused, showing up on time, working hard, and the last one is paying attention to details. That's so crucial, because we have athletes who come sometimes to training, and what I always say is they get sometime results. You can't get full results based on sometimes. All right, it has to be all the time. It has to be consistency over a long period of time in order to see the results that you truly want. Um, Paying attention to detail. The conversation I have with my athletes is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're not paying attention to a simple thing like in warm-ups and our dynamic stretching, you're not in the right form or posture. You come day in and day out doing the same thing, and it becomes mundane. It becomes redundant to athletes. They're not focused. They're talking while they're doing it. They're not doing it right. That's all part of not being locked in and not being paying attention to detail. So what I say is, if you can't, if I explain things, and I feel I explain things pretty well, even showing an example of things, and we go over it over and over. So if you're not locked in, if you're not paying attention to detail to when I'm explaining those things, or when you're talking, when I'm talking, I always say, when athletes, when you hear my voice, what should you do? And they should just stop what they're doing, stop what they're saying. They should lock in and focus and listen to what I'm saying, because it all translates over to their practices when they go to their actual team practices and whatnot. And they're not locked in the details. So I tell them, if you can't take the simple instruction of me explaining to you how to do an exercise, or how to do a drill, or how to do a lift, then how are you paying attention to your coaches when they're trying to do chalkboard, right? Explaining the plays, drawing it out. Rather, if they're drawing it out, or if they're trying to explain to you right there on the field, what you should be doing. And if you're not locked in and you're not paying attention to detail, that one simple thing will put you on the bench. So I said that's the difference between being a star athlete and being a guy on the bench. Is you can have someone physically strong, you can have some of the fastest guys on the field, but if they're not mentally locked in and they don't know their plays, that finds those guys on the bench. And I've seen it over time when I personally played from youth football to college to pro. It is what it is. They say hard work beats talent all the time, and it's simply true, because sometimes the more talented guys aren't working. And I see a lot of this as well, where I see a lot of talented guys not putting in the work, and they think that they're going to go to college. I'm talking about high schoolers. They think they're going to go to college and then they're going to learn things, or they already think they're so good that they don't have to put in the work in the off season, and they think they're going to be there and be a stud. And I'll tell you something, I've seen some of the top football players in Hawaii have that kind of attitude, and they go to their colleges and maybe they last a year or two and then they're back home working. And that's because I feel they just didn't have that kind of discipline. They didn't have the patience to be able to wait it out, work hard, do the work that you have to do in order to be on top. So, like I said, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So make sure athletes, make sure we stay locked in, make sure we're dedicated to the process. Here in Phase One Sports, our motto is embrace the process, and that's truly a big statement because there is a process to this. It doesn't happen overnight. It's consistency over a long period of time is where you get results. So, Coach James Rizik is a perfect example of how he explained he ran a 4.840. 6 years later, he finally ran a 4.340 world-class speed, but it took him 6 years to do it. So that's dedication, discipline. Discipline is the key to winning championships. Maybe you come from a program that doesn't have the discipline, then you be the leader. I always tell my athletes, you be the leader for your team to be disciplined in order to win championships. I mean, I've seen it happen to teams here last year. Incredible athletes on the team, some of the most talented kids where you think that they'd win the state championship, but they didn't even get past the semifinal game because they lacked discipline. Too much cockiness, too much where's that good, things of that nature. So discipline is the key. Listening to your coaches, doing exactly what they want you to do, and that comes with details, paying attention to the details of what they're saying so you can do everything at your 100% in what they're asking you. And that alone will win football games because here, there's 11 players on the field. It takes all 11. One guy doesn't pay attention to detail or he messes up, the play is broken. The play is done for a majority of the time. All right? So those are the 3 Ds, guys. I hope you guys take that for what it is and you apply it to your programs so that you can be the best player, the best leader for your team, to lead by example so everybody follows and you can win championships. So, I mean, there's more details to that. But with that said, gang, look, we got a nice Phase One Hawaii shirt here. We got a new partnership with Dylan Gabriel, dgthebrand.com. Go check out the partnerships, get your P1 gear and many more other outfits that are out there. Dime Time, I got mine from Dylan Gabriel. Got my order in. I got slides. I'll show you when they come in. I got multiple of these shirts in different styles. We have our, our logos on there that say focused, embrace the process, on everything that we're about with sweatshirts. We got hoodies. We got sweatpants. We got phone cases. We got beach towels. We got flags, which we'll show you in the next video. Hopefully get that up behind me. But check it out. DG the Brand. Cop your shirt. Cop his Dime Time. With that said, guys, happy Aloha Friday. See you next time. Peace.